fahaman saya kepada saudara Anwar Ibrahim ialah saya faham dalam makna saya tidak faham dia. Saya faham dia dalam makna saya tidak faham. Sebab itu seorang sahabat karib beliau pasal di MCK kata, dia kata pada saya, dia kata, Syekh, kita ini sebenarnya tidak kenal Anwar Ibrahim. Saya kata, kita kenal Anwar Ibrahim. Kata sahabat saya ini, dia kata, Syekh, kita sebenarnya tak kenal Anwar Ibrahim.
The existence of Mr. 10% in the company listing at the Bursa Saham Kuala Lumpur in the early 90s was publicly known, but not by Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir, because he was confident the Finance Ministry, headed by a man with high integrity, would do so. Certainly, the one who knew more about this was Securities Commission Chairman Dr. Munir Majid, back when Anwar was Finance Minister. Utusan Melayu Malaysia Berhad, which is owned by UMNO, had problems to be listed that the Prime Minister ordered Finance Minister Anwar Ibrahim to approve it after pressures from the company. At that time, Tan Sri Khalid Abdullah was Utusan Melayu's executive chairman. Anwar Ibrahim's cronies at the Securities Commission collected 10% to be placed into the fund at the Finance Minister's office for the transaction and public listing of a company. Any abuse by Anwar at that time was covered with him portraying himself as a minister who wanted to eliminate corruption when appointed as Finance Minister. When Mahathir went on leave, Anwar, as Deputy Prime Minister, took the opportunity to introduce the Anti-Corruption Act to eliminate corruption in Malaysian politics. He waited until the corruption probe on his political secretary, Azmin Ali, was terminated to appoint his crony to be a member of the Anti-Corruption Agency. Rumours said that he almost appointed Azmin to head the agency. From our investigation, since becoming Finance Minister, he had accumulated his family's wealth multi-folds through his secret accounts in Hong Leong Bank and through his cronies at Bank Negara, as well as many other sources. We found it weird why he still needed money when he is already rich and wealthy. Then, we realized that the UMNO General Assembly was to be held in October of 1993, and he needed the votes to destroy the then UMNO Deputy President Ghaffar Baba, his main obstacle, and for that he had spent millions of ringgit. Among his known cronies in the accumulation of his wealth was Nasaruddin Jalil, his former private secretary, who was appointed a director of Diversified Resources Berhad. In the statutory declaration on the 26th of October 1999, Bank Negara Deputy Governor Dato' Abdul Murad Khalid said that Anwar had ordered him to give 10 million ringgit to Nasaruddin. Diversified has 51% stakes in the joint venture with Proton in a team-up with Citron. Two other friends of Anwar are Rahim Ghaus, who together with Wan Hasni Wan Sulaiman set up Abrar, which handle most of Anwar's businesses. Another of its founding members is Yassin Kadi, an Arab businessman who financed Al-Qaeda, Hamas and the Taliban. Rahim also received fundings from Anwar when he was studying in the US in the 1980s. When Kadi's chalet in Switzerland was raided to search for the Al-Qaeda members, the authorities found several telephone records which contain names like Anwar, Wan Aziza, Hassan Marikan and several Petronas executives, as well as up-and-coming Turkish politicians. Bank Negara Malaysia sources informed us that Anwar did not keep the fees paid to him in Malaysia, but channeled to front companies through unsuspecting banks or using other people's names. Anwar relied on local and foreign professionals like accountants, financial advisors, and tax lawyers. He managed his operation from Malaysia, but his money was never at one place for a long time. Through the International Institute of Islamic Thought, Anwar forged relationships with a few American leaders who were attracted to his liberal thinking on moderation in Islam. They were the ones who defended Anwar when he was sent to prison for corruption and sodomy. They were Anwar's staunch supporters. Anwar made the institute, which was established in the US as the source of his financial networking, which opened business dealings, negotiations, and advice on interactions between the government and finance.
Ini cukup kontradik dengan pemikiran Islam beliau. Tetapi oleh kerana fanatiknya seperti kawan-kawan ABIM yang saudara sebut tadi, mereka menerima juga. Bagaimana? Jadi wajah beliau ini bagi saya ada ketika wajah hitam gelap dalam agama, ada kadang-kadang wajah yang berwarna-warni mengikut warna mana yang dia berjumpa.
In the next chapter, you will be able to see how Anwar is able to convince the Asia Pacific Policy Center, which is responsible for promoting Anwar's image in the West and America, as well as the Jews, of his capability to be the power for a liberal Islamic democracy through free market in Malaysia.